Good morning, everybody. Wow, it's so nice out. I could almost come out without my sweatshirt, but just enough of a breeze that it's a little bit chilly. So, leaving it on for right now. Uh, we're coming up on the fourth Sunday of Easter, that Good Shepherd Sunday, and so I'm out here in my paddock in the back where the goats and the sheep spend a lot of their time. But I do have to say a little something about my meditation yesterday. I mentioned that Jesus was mixing his metaphors when he was referring to himself as both the Good Shepherd and also as the gate. And I mentioned that, a metaphor was something that was like or as, and that was wrong. Yes, that was wrong. As some of you pointed out, that's a simile, uses the words like or as, not metaphors. So Jesus did not say, I'm like a gate. Jesus said, I am the gate. All right, I get it. Do I look like an English major? Hey, give me a little bit of slack here. I grew up outside of Pittsburgh. We have our own way of talking. So, if you can't get over that, why don't you just go get yourself a pop and hop on down to the creek and do your whoosh down there, and when you're all done, go sack onto the couch. That's how we talk in Pittsburgh. All right. Hey, let's move away from that, okay? I'm out in the paddock area, green grass, and it reminds us of the Good Shepherd, especially that Psalm 23. We mentioned that yesterday too. How he leads us out into green pastures. He leads us beside still waters. He revives our souls. All that neat, cool stuff. Our laying a banquet in front of us before our enemies, anointing our heads with that cool, soothing oil. Our cup overflows. Yeah, that is our Good Shepherd. But there's a part of that we often overlook, although it does come in handy from time to time, and that is the part about, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I like the way that the Message translates it, walking through Death Valley. Yep. We often forget that's a part of the picture. It almost assumes that we are going to be walking through the valley of the shadow of death. And indeed, we do. We're kind of doing that right now. There are over 60,000 deaths in the United States in just 2 months from this coronavirus. That's pretty frightening. That's scary. And there are a lot of people walking through that valley of the shadow of death right now. But we need to hope and we need to trust that our God will be walking with us every step of the way, and that he will take us through those valleys. In fact, he always has. We seem to think, I know at times it doesn't seem like this has ever happened to anyone else before. All it takes is a look at the history books. And again, just like I wasn't an English major, I'm not a history major either, but history is full of pandemics, full of instances of people and civilizations that have gone through this. Some of them much worse than what we are seeing now. And this is a horrible time. It is awful. And we do have to walk through those deep, dark valleys. And even if it's not directly related to the pandemic, we've all gone through those low points in our lives, those deep, dark depressions. And I realize it can be hard to trust God, to ask God to get us through. Because we are very self-sufficient people. We want to make it on our own. Sometimes we just need to stop and say, help, help. And that's an okay thing. I just heard a report on the radio of the long lines of people who are going near food banks, going up to food banks to get food. People who have never in their lives had to do that before. And how it's so difficult to say, please help. Here's where you and I can come into that picture. Number one, if you are one of those people, get the help. It's there. We can supply your need. But number two, if you know someone who's hesitant to get the help, make the offer. Make the offer. And maybe as a number three, help out your local food pantry. Make a donation. I think most of us in some way, shape, or form either have a food pantry at our churches, know of a church that does, or have some other attachment in our local community to a local food pantry. We all can do our part to help one another. And it's not going to go away right away. Even if people start going back to work, there's going to be a little bit of a lag time in which they need help. You and I can help restore them to these green meadows. We can be a part of this great work that God is doing in the world through us, through you and me. I think that it's going to be a slower recovery than we hope in our own country. I don't think it's going to be boom, boom, and everything's back to normal right away. It's going to take some time. But the Good Shepherd is leading us through it. The Good Shepherd is there to give us comfort and strength we need. But he calls upon us as well to help him out in that work of bringing comfort and relief to those who need it. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. He is with us. He will stay with us. He will guide us through this time of need. God's blessings to you. And as I've been saying time after time again, be that blessing to others. Talk to you later.